It happened. Hello, family. What's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The pre-show has already been hilarious. I can't wait to actually enjoy this with y'all today. We have 3Ball 34 with us. How you doing, buddy?
Yes, sir. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, King Brett.
Yes, thank you. We have a guy trying to get just in on a pickup game anywhere he can. Glenn, how you doing down there, bud?
What's going on, man? I feel like I'm you, just wearing the jersey with nothing underneath.
Checking into the game today.
Bro, I didn't know they gave Waterboys jerseys, but that's pretty cool.
Jeez, this is way too early in the show, guys.
It's 2024. Everyone gets a jersey.
I am King Brett. I will be roasted later, I am sure. But our special guest today, this dude is on fire. I love watching him on playback, seeing him in all the different chats. He's almost as funny as I am. We are very excited to have Blazer fan. What up, man? How are you, buddy?
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy.
Glenn, you're too old for that, but it's what's called Wayne's World.
I know Wayne's World. I think I was in it. Go back and watch.
Right in his wheelhouse. What up, Blazer fan 503?
What's happening, you guys? Pleasure to be here and honored.
Love it. We love having our Pacific Northwest reprepresentation. Glad only team up there representing, and one of the OGs of Top Shot community. So I love to see it, man. Let's talk Blazers. Just get right into it. Talk about your fandom there. How did that start?
I know you're gonna hate this. 3Ball really gets upset when I interrupt him. He was in such a flow state right there with his first intro question. He's like, "Hurry up." I gotta ask, dude, you're all clean shaven. I'm not used to you looking all like cut and neat. Did you have a date night recently, or like you lose a bet, or why are you so like all trimmed up, man?
No, it's funny. I'm looking at my wife and I'm like, do I look cleaned up?
Did we have a date night, babe?
Yeah, I was like, when's the last time we had a date night?
What are those? Cheetos. Go.
Yeah. Hey, I love.
I know we talk about it. You're a snack guy.
I think I just recently shaved a little bit, but it's funny because every time I go out to a Blazer event, especially at the Moda Center, they're like, "Jared, you're looking good, man. Like, have you done anything?" I'm like, "Not really. I mean, I'm trying to work out here and there, but pretty much it's just me.
Just collecting and connecting, baby."
Yes, sir.
It looks good on you.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. I've grown the hair out a little bit, but yeah.
All right, 3Ball, I won't interrupt now. You can go to your normal question.
Well, we're definitely going to get into NBA Top Shot and playback, like you mentioned, King Brett. But I don't want to know origin stories on Blazer fandom. I want to know where it started.
Okay, so the story of how I became a Blazer fan. So I grew up originally in the Bay Area. That's where I'm from.
Okay,
Don't hate. Okay,
you're a mermaid. I get it.
Yeah. Officially now, since I've lived here in Oregon more than half my life, I'm an Oregonian, as they say.
Whoa. Is that a real word?
It is a word. A lot of people say it wrong. They're like, "You're Oregonian?" It's
origami.
It's yeah. Oregon.
I thought I was an organist.
Oregon Trail was an amazing game. I'll give you that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sick reference.
So I grew up in the Bay Area. I was a Warriors fan for a little bit. You obviously if you live in the Bay Area, you're a Warriors fan. The Warriors sucked at that time. So it wasn't much to really watch at that time. But when Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan at that time, I was huge Chicago Bulls fan. I mean, pretty much everyone was, right?
It was hard not to be. WGN was everywhere, and we were all watching Mike for sure.
Exactly. I mean, I was remembering listening to the playoffs coming from a baseball game practice on the radio, listening to the Utah game, during the finals. Like, just to think of the nostalgia behind that, to listen to the radio back in that day and just be hyped. So that's what's kind of sparked my love. And then, for a while, I would almost say a decade or more, I just got out of it. I wasn't really following it, just kind of lost passion. And then I met a guy, his name is Bion. He's a local MC up here in Portland. When I came up in 2009 to check out the city, most of my friends had moved up. Once I had moved to Southern Oregon, then eventually got up here because that was too much of a small town for me, being from a big city. So I ended up coming up here, and this guy was a diehard Blazer fan. Like, if I had to give my name and title, and he jumped on the platform, I would graciously give my name to him because he was the one who invoked me into getting into that passion. And when I saw B. Roy play and how hyped my buddy B. Young would talk about him, like I started watching and I started really getting passionate again. So I started kind of going slowly in. And then when Dame Lillard came into this league, I was sold. I was like, you know what? I'm a diehard, true heart, like I'm dedicated. So since then, about 2010, I've been a pretty, like I said, diehard Blazer fan. And I'm stoked to be here today to see where Rip Pack City is now, to be on the platform for over coming up to 3 years now. My anniversary is March 1st. Which is pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, it's a rough season. I'll tell you that. I mean, it feels like it's been a rough couple seasons lately, but since Dame left and these new guys are trying to gel, it's been challenging. So I've been trying to keep my head, above clouds and thinking, there's a good future. As long as we get rid of Jody Allen and that GM Joe Cronin, I'll be a happy Blazer fan.
Well, happy early anniversary, Top Shot anniversary. That's badass. And you mentioned several things in there, but we talked about everybody watching Jordan. Everybody was watching Dame Lillard from across the league, even not being a Portland fan. We've all followed and watched his career. He's been amazing, or was amazing up there for you guys. For that longest time, I would see that as a situation like King Brett and I had with Dirk, pre-championship. It's a guy that was with us forever that we all loved. He was our favorite player. He's the reason we're all watching. And he was committed to the squad year in and year out. And it was definitely cool to watch him there. I wish he would have definitely gotten a ring up there with you guys. But dude's a stud, and it must have been really cool for you to get that many years to watch him.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think the connection for me, I've met him 3 times at 3 different events. And I remember the first time or the second time I met him, I was like a fangirl, all about him. And we were at a community.
King Brett knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And I freaked. One of my friends knew that I was kind of becoming this Blazer fan. And everyone knew that around me in my friends group.
So to speak.
There's Dame. And I was like, oh shit, you're right. There's Dame. So I go running over to him and I'm trying to act cool. I'm like, all right, Jared, act cool. You're from the Bay Area. He's from the Bay Area.
Take a deep breath, buddy.
I'm like, yo, what's up, Dame? How you doing, man?
What's up?
And he totally ignored me and he's just like walking off. And I'm like, yo, Dame, I'm from the East Bay, homie. And he like looks around and I was like, man, I just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done for the city so far, what you're doing for the league. Like, mad respect, like, huge fan of yours. And he came over and he gave me a little fist bump. And he's like, I appreciate you. And, I felt super honored at that time. So, like,
Sounds like you both handled it well.
yeah. I think he handled it pretty well, for sure. But I think this guy, being from the East Bay, there's a type of pride and loyalty, coming from that area. And the way where he grew up and the way he grew up, you can see that, throughout all his games, even outside of the game, he's a professional at heart and he cares about the people in his life, in the city, in the fans. And it was pretty evident to see that during his time here, on Rip City. I mean, it was like I didn't want to see him go. And I was upset for about 3 months on how Jody and Joe handled that whole situation. Like, give the man a team. Give the man a team that he deserves to play with. Like, we got tons of picks. Look at the Clippers. I don't think they have any picks until like 2031 or something. But they're, in that mindset of like putting a real, championship team together. So, not to go on a rant, Dame has just been one of the most favorite players. I mean, I think Michael Jordan and then there's Dame, right? I mean, they're pretty close to me. And so I think, seeing him go to Milwaukee to try to go and get a chip, like, is huge. And I know a lot of true Blazer fans support him doing that. And there's hope that he'll come back and maybe either finish his career in Portland or maybe get a chip with us. But I also heard rumors that he wants to buy the team in the future too, which would be pretty cool.
Rants are welcome on this show, right, Glenn? So all with friends here.
Just one more thing.
Just one more thing. I was waiting to say it. Just one more thing.
It's funny how you were a Golden State fan when they were not very good, and then you transitioned over to the Blazers and you missed out on all like the Golden State championships. Do you think that you are the jinx?
I am the jinx? No, I hope not. I think there's a lot of ex-Warrior fans out there. And it was funny because every time, especially when they were hot from like 2015, 16 on, like
then they got ugly.
Every time we played a game, a home game here, there was more there's definitely more Warriors fans than there were Lakers fans. And that was competitive, and it was like, wait, whose stadium is this? Is this the Warriors? Is this the Lakers? I thought this was the Blazers. But I mean, it's funny because I always have, every time we went against them in the playoffs and we lost, I would get text messages from all my friends from the Bay Area, like, "Oh, what's going on, man? When you get trade Dame?" So.
Yeah, I think it's very normalized now for people to follow players and to change teams, as well as people are moving around the country and the world a lot more normally now. So it makes sense that your fandom might change through the years. But during the time you're talking about of the Warriors legacy, I mean, every kid was wearing a Steph jersey, and same thing happened here in Dallas, and I'm sure up in New York where the Warriors came to town in that time when they were just winning every other year. They covered the stadium for sure.
Right.
No, Knicks fans are pretty loyal. There wasn't too many Steph guys up
Whatever,
here.
y'all are giving standing ovations to people getting 50, and
no, they will. They'll treat you very nice when you're at MSG, putting on a performance because they appreciate good basketball.
Anytime Blazer fan that you want to get Glenn riled up, you go ahead. You got our permission.
No, I like Jared already because he said Michael Jordan's the GOAT. So I think we're on an alliance with that.
There you go.
100%. We'll
I don't see
change.
how you can argue it, honestly, but people try.
Well, we got 3 regular segments that we do every show, and we'll get to those. But definitely want to talk a minute about NBA Top Shot Fast Break and what's going on NBA Top Shot. Talk about things you're excited about and your current journey right now.
Well, as most of you know, I've worked for Dapper for over, almost a year and a half, which is
just they did not know that. So
you guys did not know that.
I didn't know that.
I knew because we're
King Brett knows everything about
you.
BFF
via playback.
Us in the audience are learning lots of things about you. So keep
the
going.
The rest of you, if you'll listen.
Shout out to Dapper. What up, fam?
Yeah, I know. Hey, you're missing a great employee. If you want to hire me back, just hit me up. No, I'm just messing around. I mean, when I started my journey, it was March 21st. I'll give a quick, short, history lesson about that. Jumped in. My buddy got me hyped into it. He was into cryptos. He was getting into NFTs. He said, "Jared, I know you know basketball, NBA, Blazers. This could be your thing." And I was like, "All right." And so I watched for a couple months. And that was stupid. I should have jumped in when I could have made some serious money. But I was nervous. I was like, I'll try to be safe with this. And something my dad taught me. He's like, always invest with what you're willing to lose. And so I put about $500 in, and I thought, oh man, I'm gonna come out the gate strong. I'm gonna learn from all the OGs and get as much information to be a smart investor moving forward. Well, a lot of things have changed, as all of us have known. A lot of good, some bad, but mostly good, I would say. Besides the prices, because I spent I think $27 on a Nasir Little moment. That was a TSD, and I thought I was killing it at that time. I was like, yeah. This thing's got to go up to $50 or something.
What a steal.
Yeah, right?
We all at that time have some regrettable buys.
It's fun. I think I eventually either gave it away for free or sold it for $1. But that's a whole other story.
King Brad, I like his description of he was learning and reading a lot more than he couldn't figure it out like me and you for 2 months. That's the reason we weren't buying or getting packs. We couldn't even figure out how to get in line. So good for you. We were researching. We were with Blazer Fan.
Yeah. And, that first 2 months, I would say from March to about mid-April was when I got invited to be on courtside. And that was a private channel, and it was like for, positive people in the community trying to educate or just make the experience. Yeah. Hey,
good vibes.
That's great. Come on in.
I want to be courtside. That's cool.
And so, like, a lot of people knew that I was very eager to learn, very willing, and just like I had no, I don't know, there's no cockiness to me. I didn't come with a big, large payroll and be like, yeah, I got this. I don't need your information. I'm just going to, I coined the term.
Don't impersonate Glenn like that, please.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Glenn. My bad, Glenn. Us, ballers on a budget had to start from a lower end and move the way up. I mean, my first pack, rare pack, was the Throwdowns S2, and I was like, yeah, I'm making.
That was my first rare too.
Oh yeah, and I got stuck. Oh, who was it?
I got the OKC guy. He's barely in the league anymore.
Sure.
I got to think of it.
Are you talking about Andre Robinson?
No. Like a small forward. I can't think of his name right now.
Name that player.
Yeah, I'm gonna fail it.
Come back to me on that.
I'll try to remember.
Yeah. So, eventually I got in the court side. I was very honored. I think Vinyl ended up inviting me, started to get to know a lot of the Dapper heads. And then throughout my journey, I just kind of was riding the market, seeing what was going on. And then by, I think, June or July, I got invited to Top Shot This, which was a exclusive other channel that was teams of two, me and my boy Justino, who's not really active on the on Top Shot anymore, but he has a kid. He's got plenty of other reasons why he's not. But him and I were the Blazers team. And what we did was we chose highlights. We go in, watch the game, choose the best highlights, fill out a spreadsheet, and send it over the mat, Vinyl. So, and then they would send that spreadsheet to Austin and Brandon to have those moments looked over.
Finals never die. Brandon Soul, Austin Kent. Love the name drops. What up?
Right?
Darius Basley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Darius Basley. Yeah.
Boom.
Found it.
Brilliant.
I wish I sold it. It was going for like $100+ back then. I'm like, oh, this is awesome, and it's probably
full
worth
circle. We made it.
Yeah.
About $11 now.
$6.
$6. So eventually, I got on this team. I was honored to get, I think, at least 6 or 7 plays of mine selected.
Whoa!
For them to become moments, and I used to tote about it.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was really cool too. Like, and my boy, I was like,
no big deal.
So I kind of toted about that, and then I got to the point where it was right before that. I was starting to meet more Blazer fans on the platform. And I said, and it's funny because I'm going to do a couple more name drops. I started to get to know Luke, El Dumbo.
What up?
So
El Dumbo?
And I kept asking him, I said, why isn't there any team channels? Like, how do we connect with other, fellow fans? Yeah. And he's like, well, Jacob and I, we haven't talked about that. That's further down the road. Like, it's not our priority right now. Yeah. And that's a very sophisticated El Dumbo.
Yeah, that was a great impression as well. You were on top of these. You were practicing.
So I asked him, I kept hassling him. I said, you really need to create these team channels. I think they'd be really cool for us fans to connect. So, kept going and going. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start reaching out. And it's funny because most of the people who knew me in my first year, as friendly as I was and outgoing, and I had this persona of being, Blazer fan.
I don't understand the reference.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I have a 3 emoji that I've pretty much trademarked by now. It's the sunglasses, the puff of smoke, and the piece of broccoli for all those people that do
for the
smoke.
People that are healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, broccoli's good for you.
Yeah.
Tease to our next segment, Sticky Icky Wiki, here in a minute. Go ahead.
Hey, I'll be on that next episode too. So I kept asking him, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out and start reaching out to people. And so I met some of the original Rip Pack City fans, like James Dillon Bond, a.k.a. Trevor, Mike G, who I eventually met a little bit later, D-Jack, of course, and our buddy Nantucket, who is the Discord manager now for
Blazers royalty.
So we got together with a small handful of us, and I said, hey, I want to start our own Discord for this fan group. I think I see this future and this potential of where we could go with our fan group and how that could be implemented in the Top Shot. So later down the road, we started getting popular. Even El Dumbo would say, like, quit soliciting and, put your whatever, like, just quit it. Just quit trying to grab people and bring them onto your, Discord. And I was like, why not? They're just fans. It's not like I'm doing any harm. I'm not selling them some, random stuff and trying to rug them or, pull the whatever on them. Like, it's all good. And so eventually, I saw that they were hiring, and I was in between jobs and freelancing, doing graphic design. And I said, you know what? I'll throw my hat, my name in the hat and see what happens. I doubt I'll get the job. There's so many more talented, passionate people than me. I'm passionate. I love to be educated, but at the same time, I was like, whatever.
We get it. You're very humble.
Humble Blazer fan.
Thank you.
Yes.
I didn't have to say it.
Yes.
And so I got an interview with, Jacob, and it was like the most nonchalant interview I've ever had in my life. Just having a nice conversation. And by the end of it, he was like, so when do you want to start? And I was like, oh, do I have the job? And he's like, yeah, when do you want to start? And I was like, oh, well, second week of January or whatever. He's like, yeah, come on in.
You're Ben Affleck on Good Will Hunting and asking retainer.
Yeah, exactly. And I had no clue what I was getting myself into. I didn't know what, I didn't know much on the back end, I did set up the Discord, but I eventually had to hand that off to Nantucket because I didn't want any controversy of me, like, being a Dapper employee, because I saw some, old past of stuff that had happened. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be on a good, playing level with everybody, the community, Dapper, and our group. So I handed it off to Nantucket. I said, hey, you guys, this is going to be an awesome opportunity, not just for us, but like for everything, especially the fan communities. So then we got, my first month was absolutely crazy. That's 2 months. That's a whole other podcast. But eventually, I was given Top Shot this to run, and we had to close it down. It just wasn't making any sense anymore, which I was really, really bummed. And then by the time that happened, I got transferred to NFL All Day, and I was really bummed about that because I do like and enjoy football, but I'm a diehard basketball fan, So
who do you like? Who's your NFL team?
Well, again, growing up in the Bay Area was the Raiders. If you lived on the east side of the Bay,
makes sense.
But I also was a Niners fan. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice back in the day, iconic legends, But I enjoy it. But I got to know an amazing team. Like, I don't know if you guys all remember Candy. She used to do a lot of the open or whatever office hours, basically, or Q&A with Jacob. I got to work with, oh God, I'm going to space on these names.
That's Jacob Eisenberg for anybody that didn't catch that reference to several Jacob drops there.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, I can't believe I'm forgetting the other people.
Previous guest on the show.
Hey, Brad, I got to ask, not Brad, I'm sorry, Jared.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, is it true that you're the reason of the over minting in S2 and S3 and it was your idea?
No way. But I do know how that happened. I eventually learned.
Glenn stirring the pot.
I know. Let's go back to Spencer.
We'll talk later. We'll talk later.
Okay.
Love it.
All right.
But yeah, that does stink to be so passionate, be building stuff in Top Shot, and then to be transferred on the football side when you didn't want to. But very cool that you got behind the curtain and got to work with Dapper and those capacities. That's very, very cool, man.
Yeah, it was, it was a really good learning lesson because I was kind of, I thought, I'm high on this pedestal of thinking like, oh, the community knows me. They trust me. Like, I'm this persona, on Top Shot. But in the NFL All Day, I was not. There was a lot of people that I didn't see transfer over on, both like basically products. And so I had to build that trust. And I remember I had one of the biggest learning lessons. It was I think it was the quarterback for Miami. And I didn't know who he was. And so I kind of like had like in the chat, I was like, who? And I just got railed by the community. They're like, you don't know who he is? You're not a football fan? Like, what? How, blah, blah. And the community was tough. But you know what was cool? Because at the end of it, I kind of got through the little down points of being like, man, I wish I get back to NBA Top Shot eventually. Like, how long will I be here? But the team I got to work with was amazing. The community that I ended up building a lot of trust was amazing. I still talk with them today. And then there was this spare assignment basically of like, hey, all hands on board, help us out if you can. Jacob invited me, and this was the conference party that we had that with the beginning before team captains was a thing. We had the big like Western and Eastern Conference viewing events, and it was with the Warriors and of course the Heat at that time. But I was in charge of helping out, and then they saw that I really enjoy like putting events together and organizing and doing all that. They were like, "Wow, okay, Jared, you're now running it." So I was pretty much like a one-man show, and I ended up putting both the events in Miami and Golden State together. Went out to Golden State, partied it up, had a blast, met everybody in the community.
Really tough.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. But it was really cool because everybody in Dapper was like really impressed. They're like, wow, Jared, I did not know you had this in your wheelhouse. Like, this was very successful. So at that time, Jacob and Luke were talking about team captains. And it was funny because I kept mentioning about these team communities and, hey, we should have team channels. And I think this will be a thing in the future. So I didn't hear any of those conversations going outside because I was in the NFL all day. But then by the time I was hosting these events, they said, Jared, these were both super successful. I think it's right to bring you back to Top Shot and have you co-manage this new program called the Team Captains Program. And I was with JP and my boy, another guy named Trevor, not James Dillon Bond. And we were in charge of running that the first 3 months. We didn't know if it lasts for 3 months, 6 months, over a year. But again, that's another podcast episode talking about that whole experience. But it was amazing because this was what I was super passionate about. And it was just like the right perfect timing because Top Shot Kingdom was starting to become more noticeable. Also, the Raptors group, Jurassic Park. I'm just trying to remember all the names.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
And them up there for sure, one of the OGs. Very cool to hear you talk about the communities and the history of getting those started because people are going to join the platform and things are going to be very shiny and nice with the app and the Pack Marketplace and things that are there, these team communities where you can meet other fans of your team and other collectors that are doing the same stuff that you're doing. It's all going to be in place and working well when they join. And it's going to be cool to watch an episode like this to be like, man, it wasn't always like this. Listen to Blazer fan talk about what was going on then. So very cool to hear the background for sure. Yeah, got a couple regular segments I'd love to jump into. Glenn, you want to tell him about our first one? Let's test his fandom a little bit.
Yeah, it's called it's called Name That Player, and I chose 3 different Blazers from the past, and I think you're around the same age, or you've been a fan for long enough. I don't think you'll have too much of an issue, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I think there's some good ones in here. I'm excited. I think somewhat easy, but we'll see. Let's see how it goes. I don't want to set him up for failure.
Well, to all my other Blazer fans out there, please be nice to me if I do mess up, please. You guys know me enough, all right? I have a kind of a bad memory because of certain reasons, but
Yeah, don't worry. We're not putting Tua up there. So here we go.
I don't get it. Can you explain?
Portland Trailblazer, name that player number 1.
Oh, Rudy Fernandez.
Yeah, easy.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I knew it.
You gotta at least act like it's hard, Blazer.
You're like, sure.
It starts with an R.
Take a deep breath. Come on.
He's a great player to watch.
Yeah.
If you got that one and you're his biggest fan, as you already said, it should be easier.
It's Damian Lillard.
It's gonna be really hard.
Yeah.
Oh, D-Roy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
He
the
brought
reason
it up
why.
earlier.
He
I think he's a
did.
current high school coach or something. I think he's doing something like that.
He is.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
he was.
Give him back.
Such a shame because he was such a good player and he had so many injuries. I would have loved to see what happened if his career didn't get derailed with all the injuries.
Well, Glenn, you know we have the big man curse over here, which I should say quietly because
You got to knock on some wood.
yeah.
Yeah,
Here we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, since he's 2 for 2, I think this is going to be a pretty easy one as well. Name that player number 3.
The hardest one yet.
Is it?
Really going to stump you.
It is. Wait, that's God. Who is that? Darius Miles?
Yeah, I love that you played just a little bit of
Yeah.
acting.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Did
you
you
like
see that?
Yeah.
That's
Yo.
a Blazer fan right there. 3 for 3.
Nice.
Pow,
Hey,
pow, pow,
all
pow.
right.
Jersey 23 over here.
Love it.
Now the
Yeah,
community can't
Darius
say
Miles.
anything.
He's
Love it.
he's that moment
for
that I
3.
still can't afford to finish my S1. But the price has gone down now, so I'm just waiting to hit like one of those lucky draw packs where I end up making more money than I'd hoped for, so I can buy
Yep.
that moment.
Or get one from another team and trade somebody else. It'll be there.
Hey, I got
Congratulations,
plenty
man.
of
3
trade
for 3
tickets.
on Name That Player. Good
Thank
segment there, Glenn.
Yeah.
I got plenty of trade tickets.
To what segment everyone's been looking forward to this episode, Sticky Icky Wiki this week. On Wikipedia, we were researching for this episode and looking up Blazers facts and things
That's
for a
kidding.
Blazer fan to join. Pretty crazy one here. Some team mascot background controversy. Do you know the current mascot?
Are you talking about Blaze?
Blaze the Trail Cat.
Or are you talking
came
about
into,
Sasquatch now?
yeah,
Oh, let's go.
2002, the Blaze the Trail Cat came in, and then I talked over you. What did you just say?
Oh, the Sasquatch guy, whatever his name is. Oh God, what is his name?
You got a new Sasquatch that entered the chat in 2023. His name is Douglas Fur.
Oh, Douglas. Duh. Yeah, of course.
So the reason I bring it up is we have a little bit of history here that's on the Wikipedia site that in 1987 through 1989, 3 seasons for the Portland Trailblazers, their lead mascot was also a Bigfoot. He was played by a 6'10" ex-Blazer player called Dale Schluter. And the reason he only lasted 3 years is in 1989 during a game against the Golden State Warriors. Shout out to the Bay, already referenced. Don Nelson is coaching, and the Sasquatch comes out and crushes a Golden State bridge while they're
For
playing them.
real?
Yeah, and
Wow.
Don did not take too kindly of it, and they got rid of the mascot. So he's been gone since 1989, and as a Blazer fan just referenced, they brought him back in 2023 under a new name and a different costume, but the Bigfoot is back.
Wait, the
Wow.
same man is playing the.
I'm pretty sure he's not around anymore, but yeah, it was a 9-foot costume back then, and from the pictures of the recent one, Blazer fan, it looks like he's also pretty tall.
Oh yeah, I'm 6'3", and this guy is huge. I mean,
Whoa.
I've already seen
Shout
him
out!
out in
Speaking of
public,
huge,
yeah.
6'3", I see you, big dog.
6'3". From here, you look like 5'12".
That's why he closed up on the face. He's like, I don't want to show my
I
height.
actually am 5'12". This is how tall I am. Hello.
I used to say that as a kid all the time. I'm 5'12", and they'd be like, "You mean 6 foot?" I was like, "No, I'm 5'12".
And growing.
Mm.
Oh, shout out to the Flintstones commercial.
Flintstones commercial?
So, yeah, you won't catch me singing much, but I dropped that one. So, King Brett, let's go to segment number 3.
Dude, so we already know you have some crazy basketball memories, right? Growing up in the Bay, switching teams, being a Blazer fan. What is one memory that sticks out in your head of like all-time basketball? I went and saw this game. I met this player. I took my future wife on our first date ever to basketball. Like, what's one of those memories for you?
Shout
Or
out to
you,
her. We
or
know
you
she's
playing
listening.
basketball even, right?
Or yeah, I guess that counts.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got 2 that comes up to the memory, and
Okay,
one's
you can
kind
tell
of
us 3.
Okay, all right, cool. I like that. The first one's gonna be a shout out to my grandfather, who's not with me anymore, but he was a high school basketball coach.
Nice.
And I was too young, and I could barely dribble. But I remember seeing pickup games with my uncle and my grandpa and my mom, just fun games. And my grandpa was about 6'6", so he was a tall dude and just built, just very strong looking.
Yeah.
And, that just remembering those memories was how I got kind of interested in, maybe I could play this sport myself. Cause I played all different types of sports until kind of had some knee injuries here and there after middle school and like early high school. So I had to kind of slow down on that, but that was like still one of the biggest memories since he's not here with me anymore.
For sure.
It definitely stood out. The second one is how my wife and I first met. And there's this place called, Dr. Jack's. So kind of you can understand where D-Jack gets his name. And for those who don't know, Dr. Jack is the one who won the 1977 championship. He was our head coach during that time. Amazing guy. Wore some awesome suits and his little bow ties and everything. But my wife and I, we met on Tinder. We both, swiped and we're like, hey, all right. So we ended up meeting. Yeah. And it was funny because I was really getting into Blazers at that time. And I thought, let's meet at this restaurant right outside of the Blazer game at the Rose Quarter, and which is now the Moda Center. And so we met up there, and my wife was she wasn't my wife at the time, but she was about 15, 20 minutes late. And I'm like, man, am I getting ghosted? Like, am I getting stood up here? Like, what the heck? So she comes in, and it was like a perfect transition. Like the whole entire crowd went into the game, and I'm the only one there. So
I rented this out for you, darling.
Yeah, I was like, it couldn't be more perfect. It was quiet, we could actually talk, and we had our first date there.
The best part, she walked in, she's like, man, I guess I don't see him. You're like, it's me. Pick me. Oh, it's me.
When she saw me stood up and go to the bathroom, she's like, thank God he's taller than me, because if he was short, I was like, damn, that's a little harsh.
Ruthless.
But
I like her already.
I did make the cut, which was great. And, we're happily married, coming up to 9 years of being together. And we're expecting a child here in July, which is even crazier to think. Yeah. So
I heard you made the baby at a Blazers game, by the way. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And she's been pulled into plenty of games with me. We've seen playoff games. She has a couple jerseys. Like, she knows that I'm a diehard, and she supports that, which is probably one of my other favorite basketball memories. And then the third, I would say, it's tough between that. Like, meeting Dame was super cool, but it was like kind of outside the basketball game. But it was seeing Dame's goodbye shot to OKC. I was with one of my good friends who was he's a Phillies fan, but also a Blazer fan. Kind of conflicting. I know he really wanted Dame to come over there. But him and I were watching at his apartment, and we screamed as loud as we could. I mean, we were freaking out. We didn't even know this was real. Like, we're living in an alternate universe. Like, how could this happen? And it was amazing. And he had it on DVR or whatever. And so we watched it over and over again. And like, I couldn't be more excited as a Blazer fan to see that particular moment. So those are my top three.
Dude, so awesome.
Very cool.
Sound like somebody who watches their moments. Man, three great stories, dude. That definitely defines a lot of your fandom as for early on with Grandpa and learning the game, and then meeting your wife and creating that future, as well as meeting Dame. All great memories. I wouldn't be surprised if after she saw your height, she brought a basketball with her when she met you, maybe made you dribble to see if you still had it.
When I played basketball, I was terrible at dribbling. Like, I'd always get the whole like, what did we just tell you? Quit doing that, And but I was like Dennis Rodman out there on the basketball court between 5th grade and I'd say close to 8th grade. I mean,
King Brett knows what you're talking
steals, rebounds, blocks. I was your guy. But dribbling or shooting, pass it to the next guy.
You're the dirty work, the lunch pail guy. Just get a Blazer fan in there. He's going to get some loose balls for us.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Don't dribble. Just kick it out to the guard.
Kick it out to me. I'll shoot it.
There you go. Glenn's shooting it. Man, very cool. Good job on all three segments. Those were fantastic.
Thank you.
to give a quick shout out to our C&C community. You can find us on Discord, and we post on Twitter and Instagram. You can find this video here on YouTube. And our website's there below, collectinandconnectin.com. And you can find shirts like this Dallas Mavericks and other team communities, NBATOPSHOT set art, as well as the C&C collection, all there at shop.collectinandconnectin.com. We'd love to have you. Come collect and connect with us, as my friend Glenn likes to say.
What do I like to say?
Come collect and connect with us. I feel like we got a clip of you somewhere saying it perfectly, but
it's probably AI, but we'll forgive it.
For sure. We're going to AI put a T-shirt on under that jersey for this episode.
It's a little cold in here. You're lucky it's not lower.
Oh, man. Blazer fan, this has been really cool. You could definitely see how comfortable you are on screen, all your playback experience, as well as information coming from working for Dapper and being an OG on the platform. We're definitely going to have to do this again because there were several stories in there we're going to have to dig more into next time for sure.
Yeah, we have 7 other segments coming soon.
The Blazer fan edition.
Yeah.
There you go.
Continue. ...
Inside Dapper, the documentary starring Blazer fan.
Yeah, that's a 2-part for sure.
Bring your snacks for that one.
Yeah. I don't work for him, so I can say whatever now.
How was the yacht, by the way?
I never got to the yacht, but I did get to the jet. The jet.
He one-upped you there, Glenn.
Wow.
You tried to get him, and he brought it right back, crushed it out of the park.
Dude, Jared's got a charmed life. He even got promoted on this podcast here. Look at him; he's in the top spot where you used to be.
I know. Look
we
at
like
that.
to rotate people around and keep the fans guessing for sure. Very cool, man. I appreciate you being on here. Appreciate you collecting and connecting with us. You're hilarious in the chat. And glad you were able to join us and get on here today. It's always fun kicking it.
Yeah, I appreciate just having the opportunity to come and talk with you guys. I mean, I've been following you guys since the beginning. I know Trent is probably busy running for his mayor campaign. I don't know how that's still going, but
big treat.
Yeah, big treat. I mean, just when Twitter Spaces were starting to become a thing, and we're starting team set communities starting to come out, not outside of the fan communities, but just with you guys. The whole, I don't even know how you'd say it, the mantra or the goal, the objective, where your heart is coming from with Collectin and Connectin. I've always been a big fan. I remember coming back from my Canada trip and driving, and I was listening, and I'm like, I think I ended up like talking for a little bit, but just to see how big this community has grown and what you guys are still doing, and just to see the potential. You guys have something really special, and that's why I was like, man, I should really come up here and like chat it up with you guys. It's been a long time for me wanting to come up here and just hang out with you all. So again, it's been a pleasure and an honor to be here with you guys today, and I hope to come back another time to share some more Blazer fan 503 stories.
For sure, man. That's awesome. Really cool. We feel honored to have you. I can't believe people want to be on the show with us. We're just kicking it and hanging out together, and love getting to know people like yourself.
Hell yeah.
We're kind of a big deal now, I think.
Only because Blazer fans on. That's why, obviously.
Glenn is kind of a big deal. People know him. He has many leather-bound books and smells of rich mahogany.
And I have accent walls. That's how you know I made it.
That plush couch behind you, just got nice things everywhere. We love it. And the guns are out. Sun's out, guns out in New Jersey today.
I thought that was a chair for a second. I was like, man, this chair is huge on him.
No, it's a couch. I'm not the biggest guy, but that's a couch.
Barca lounger over there. King Brett, lead us out, my man.
Dude. King Brett. Hello, that's me. Glenn, 3-ball. Dude, Blazer fan. We loved having you. You're welcome back anytime. We'll definitely see you in playback channels. Episode 36 of the C&C Collectin Connectin Podcast. Tune in next time. We appreciate all of you.
Can I do one shout out?
Yes.
Only if you say one more thing.
Okay. You ready? This is for all my Blazer fans, and they always know this. Every playback or Twitter space that
I know
Mike and Trevor used to run. Rip City, baby!
There you go.
Well,
I love it.
Thanks for being here. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace, you guys.
Peace out, guys.